All right, it's recording now. So let's go through the formalities here. Everything we're going over today is for educational purposes only, and we're not giving any specific trading advice. What I'll be showing you is one of the strategies and how myself and Becky, who is the co-host and my trading partner, how we go about profiting from the markets. And one of the strategies we're showing today is one we have been using probably since 2007 or 8. It hasn't changed in all that time. It works extremely, extremely, extremely well. And there's nothing to change to it, nothing to adjust to it, nothing to change in a trade management. It just works. So let's go through this. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, these are the sectors we trade. We chose these sectors and these ETFs specifically. There are probably 1,000 plus ETFs, but most of those ETFs either don't have options or don't have options with enough volume and open interest to be realistically tradable. So this grouping here gives us a lot of diversity in things we can trade, because some people like to trade certain things and not others. So you can pick and choose what you want to trade. And I've done some certain other presentations where I'm showing you if we choose certain groupings of sectors, you get certain win-loss percentages and where you have the best returns if you choose certain sectors. So that's a different presentation, but you have a lot of flexibility here to customize what you trade and what you like trading. Some people I know literally do not like trading biotech, but they love trading gold or they love trading oil. So they focus on those type of things. They focus on oil or they focus on gold or they focus on real estate. So that's why we have this big list of different sectors that we can diversify, and people with different personalities and interests can trade different things and become specialists if they really want to in a particular sector. All right. Ichimoku clouds are what we're going to be going over. I just want to show you this real quick. Then we'll go to the charts of the cloud. We're going to be using Thinkorswim to look at the charts. These are just the names: the Tenkan, Kijun, Senku, Span A, Senku, Span B, and Chiku, which we will be using. So the names are not as important. Just looking at this right now, when we get to the chart, everything will makes more sense. So, but these are the names. There are some people who do Ichimoku type things, and they change the names to try to Americanize the names. I didn't really believe in doing that. This came from Japan. It works really, 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 really well. Not changing the names. I think the names are simple enough and stand out. And it's been around for 50, 60 something years now. And it just works. People ask, how does it work? Well, people who came up with it did a good job of creating something that works. And it's like any of the other systems or indicators, it's a tool. And I've found ways to use this tool in a way that fits into how myself and Becky approach trading the markets. All right, so, and we'll show you one of those strategies today. We have a grouping of them, but the two we still trade are the Kumo and the Senku. And today we're going to show you the Senku strategy. We might do the Kumo in a couple of months. All right, if there are any questions along the way, feel free to interrupt. Don't raise your hand, just unmute, ask a question, or type in the chat window, and I'll get to you eventually. I'm also sending a video out of this recording of this presentation a little bit later this afternoon also. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and change the share to the chart. All right. So this is the Ichimoku cloud. It's an indicator that's pretty much on just about every analysis platform has an Ichimoku cloud. So it's pretty readily available on just about every trading platform. Going back to those names, this is the bullish cloud. This is the bearish part of the cloud. When these two lines cross, the area in between these two lines is what because of the visual, we call it the cloud. This is a bullish cloud, bearish cloud. This line is Senku span A. When Senku span A, and this bottom line is Senku span B. So Senku A, Senku B. When Senku A crosses above B, we have the bullish cloud. When Senku A crosses below span B, then we have the bearish cloud. And that just goes over and over again. One line crosses below, this is span A, the bullish cloud. Top line is span A. It crosses below span B. Now span A is the lower line because it crossed below. So this is now span A. I changed the colors on the line so you can see the difference in colors. When you have your own charts, you adjust the line colors and however makes it easier for you to view. All right, so go the other way. And then when span A crosses back above span B, now we have the bullish cloud. Okay. This red line is the Chiku. We will be using the Senku span A, span B, and the Chiku lines for this strategy. All right. So this is Friday's closing. This is the close on Friday, the daily chart. All right. If you take a look at the data box, take a look at the Chiku price. So you have all the information about Ichimoku. Take a look at the Chiku price on this date where this line ends. That is 505.79. 505.79. That is the same as the closing price on Friday, 505.79. So what this line is, it's today's closing price plotted on the chart 26 days ago. Okay. So the Chiku is today's closing price shown on the chart 26 days ago. The closing price of this day was 504.98. That means the Chiku on this day was 504.98 on this day, okay, 26 days previous. So that's the value plotted. That's the Chiku. That's how it's calculated. So how we use this particular strategy we're going over is we're going to use, and if you have any questions, just feel free to interrupt and ask. We're looking for these two lines to cross, this Chiku, the Senku span A and span B. So when Senku span A crosses above B, we have the bullish crossover. That is the day we are looking at. So if you take a look at, sometimes you can't always tell with your eyes what date actually crossed, so it's not crystal clear. So we have the data box. Take a look at the data box on the left. So it says span A is 461.25 and span B is 463.49. So even on the chart, is obviously span A is less than span B. The next day, I'll do it like this even. The next day, so span A less than span B. The next day, span A is greater than span B. It crossed. This is visually what we're looking for, these two lines to cross. When you see these two lines cross, we have a potential trading opportunity. So we see these two lines cross. It happened on 10/22. We're looking to Qs, the NASDAQ. So on 10/22, these two lines cross bullish. Span A crossed above span B. That's what you visually look for each day. It goes really fast. Lines cross today, they cross or they didn't. Bam, bam, bam. You go through a whole list of ETFs. In a minute, you can go through every single one of them. All right. The confirmation to trigger, that's the setup. That's the visual setup. Remember, I use setup, trigger, trade management. So that's the setup. That's what we're looking for. The trigger, the Chiku of 26 days ago has to be above the cloud. If it's inside the cloud, or below the cloud, it's not valid. That's the confirmation for this trade. For this trade to be valid, the Chiku, which is 26 days ago, has to be above the cloud. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 days ago, the Chiku is above the cloud. That's the confirmation. That's the entire trade strategy. Okay, that's the entire trade strategy. We look for a bullish cross of the Chiku. Of the Senku span A crossing above span B. Confirmation trigger. The Chiku 26 days ago has to be above the cloud. If this line was inside the cloud 26 days ago, it's a no-go. If the line was below the cloud 26 days ago, it's a no-go. Okay? So that's literally all we're looking for. I'm going to go back to the handout now and change the share. Okay. And now you know the Senku span A, Senku span B, and the Chiku. That's what we focused on for this strategy. Chiku, the closing price, plotted 26 days behind. And I'm going to, the same chart is that same example we're looking at right now, that same day. And this is the trade history of the QQQ with this strategy, long and short. Okay. As most of you know, Becky puts together all the spreadsheets. And so anything you see in rectangular boxes, Becky is the one doing all of that. She maintains these every several months. She updates all the stats. So those of you who receive the trading plan with all updated stats, that's Becky tracking all this stuff on an ongoing basis because we need this to trade. So luckily, myself and Becky work really well together because I will never do this. I hate this type of stuff. I don't like typing things in boxes. I don't even like typing. But Becky likes to do this stuff, so we work together really well. I like doing the analysis and I like doing the presentations, and she likes doing the behind the scenes stuff, getting all this tracked and maintaining the numbers, and because this is how we know what works and what doesn't, and what to trade and what not to trade. So we work really well together. And for those of you who are also part of the Facebook groups, post something in there. Please post something in there. Ask questions in there. And help the community grow, because sometimes most of you email me questions directly, but if it's generic enough, general enough that you think it's something that everyone could benefit from that knowledge, feel free to put it in the Facebook group and share that information. And because there are people that might be having the exact same question, but because realistically most questions are general enough, so they don't reveal like private information or anything. But yeah, share in the Facebook groups as much as you can and help everyone grow with as you do. So what we put in here, all the valid trade dates, the one we just looked at was 10/22/24. So we have all the trades going back 25 years to 1999. All the trades going back to 1999, long and short. So 25 years of trades with Qs. And we have it broken down by long and short over here. Total number of trades. There's a definitive advantage on the long side with this strategy. If I'm going to be trading this strategy, I would not be taking any of the short trades. For those of you already know, most of you know that we don't do any ETF option trades that are less than 84% wins. So when we look at this, we can see we are averaging over 90% wins on the long side, but a whole, almost 20% lower on the short side. Okay, 74% versus 93% wins. 93% wins long, 74% wins short side. So the extra number in there. So this is something we need to know, these numbers, so that we don't take trades that end up generating losses and wipe out profits. Trading long and trading short are two completely different things. The market does not move the same way going up as it does when it's going down. The strategies that work really, really well on the way up most likely will not work anywhere near as well on the way down. Money you make on the way up is money you will give back and lose on the way down, because you're trying to trade something with a strategy that doesn't work on the downside. You can't just flip it over and make it work. So these are the stats. So you got to have these stats. You can't just flip it over and think it's going to work, because you're going to make a bunch of money on the long side, take a bunch of short trades, wipe out all your profits, and then you say, well, this strategy is no good at all. You lost all my... No, you have to understand that certain strategies are great for long and certain ones are great for short. They're not the same. So when you see this strategy become valid at 93% wins over the last 25 years, not just this one ETF, it's a whole group of ETFs. So we have the stats for all of them. It's just a great strategy to use. So we have the stats for 1 ATR target, 1.5 ATR target if you want a bigger first target, or 2 times ATR first target. So it's 93% wins going with a 1 ATR target, 89% wins going with the overall 89% wins going with a 1.5 ATR first target, 87% wins going with a 2 times ATR first target. All right. So usually when you see that Senku trade happen, it's usually signals the start of a bigger move coming up in the market. That's why you'll tend to see these stats for the bigger targets still really, really good, because if you know the other strategies, the first target is where most of the money is made. As you get bigger first targets, you don't see the same high win-loss percentage. But with the Ichimoku Senku, when you see that crossover, that's usually the start of a bigger move, and you have the potential to make bigger profits. That's just at the first target. Okay, once beyond the first target, it's your choice if you want to trail stops and scale in or out of position. That's up to you. But as far as the first target goes, these are the stats, win-loss stats at the first target. All right, what do we have past this? Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the chart. All right. Do we have any questions on this general strategy? Any questions at all at this moment in time? Anything whatsoever? I said, feel free to unmute or just type it in the chat window. All right. So let's take this trade right here. Crossover. First target is going to be the ATR, 1 times the ATR, 5.5 points. Enter at or below the open price the next day, 493.59. And your first target is going to be hit somewhere in the next couple of days. Okay. That's a 5-point target, 5.5 point target. Well, what if and that usually will translate to probably a 20-something% return, that quicker move, about 20-something% return. Now, that's assuming you got in at the open. On this day, the open was 493. It went as low as 485. Well, what if you'd gotten in 5 points lower than the open? Now, instead of getting in at the open, you got in down here at like 488 or something, 488 something, 5 points lower than the open. Now, instead of having a target ATR of 1 times the ATR, which is $5.50, you could have had you got in 5 points lower. Now your first target can be $10.50, not 5.50. Now your first target is 10.50 because you got in 5 points lower. Okay. Now this is still first target win-loss percentage is still going to be hitting a couple days later, except your profitability goes from maybe 20-something% to maybe 50 to 60-something% return at the first target. Because now your additional five, now you're going to be 10 points in the money when this first target is hit. Rather than being 5 points in the money, now you are 10 points in the money by getting in lower. You could have gotten it even lower. You could have gotten 8 points lower than the open, plus your ATR. So 8 plus 5 is 13. You could have had a 13-point first target. The more patient you are, quite often you'll be able to enter the trade at a better price than expected and have much bigger returns at the first target. You might miss some trades, it happens, but on your winning trades, if you think about it, just by being patient and just getting in at a better price than expected, the profit on this one win by getting in at a lower price is actually greater than the profit on 3 generally winning trades combined sometimes, because you might on average get between 10 and 25% return on a trade. But if you can get a 60-70% return on one trade, that's equal to 3 other winning trades at first targets getting in right at the open. These add up really, really fast when you think like that. Now you need fewer wins to offset losses. Like I said, this is a strategy and approach we've been trading longer than any other strategy. So usually I don't rush to get into a trade at the open. And I do it. I know Becky does it also, but we look for big down days to get in. So if we see a big down day going on, like this market dropped how many points? And then as it's going down, we look at what trades are we not in? Because the reality, we won't be in every trade. So we look back at what trades are open that we're not currently in. Let's get in, okay? Because you're getting in at much better prices than expected, and now you have more flexibility when to get out. If a trade's meant to be a loss, it'll be a loss no matter what. But if it's going to be a win, it could be a 10 to 15%, 10 to 15 to 20-something% win, or the same trade can be a 40, 50, 60, 70% win just by getting in at a better price, the exact same trade. If it was going to be a loss and just keep going down, 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 it'll be a loss no matter what. However, we can make our wins bigger. If it's going to be a loss, it's going to be a loss. That's it. But as far as our wins go, we can make those a whole lot bigger just by being patient and getting in at a better price than expected. Until the first target is reached, the trade is in play. Okay. So anywhere below the open, you can enter this trade and just relax. You place your order, nothing else to do. But sit back and let your trade play out. All right. Do you have any questions so far? I'm going to use a couple of examples. They're also in the handout. Recent markets, XLE. Energy sector is always in the market, is always in the news this time of year. XLE. XLE had a cross right here. This was on 11/11, Veterans Day. Now, if this Chiku was above the cloud on that day, then it would be a valid trade. If it's not, then we'd pass, but we'd be looking. And so this is what we would have seen if we're doing our daily analysis. We're looking, nope, then cross. Hey, XLE energy sector crossed. Now, the only question is it valid? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 days earlier, the Chiku was above the cloud. Valid trade. Okay. I don't have the stats open in front of me. I could ask Becky if she wants to open it. Becky, do you know the win-loss stats for XLE by chance? Is that somewhere nearby? I don't have it immediately in front of me, but if you have it in front of me, is it one of the deals that's over 84%? If it is, you can go ahead and type it in. So while she looks that up, it's pretty straightforward. Just look for the crossover, GLD. Here was the crossover in GLD. Happened on August 16th. Is it valid? We look at yep, Chiku is definitely above the cloud. So here was the GLD trade. Okay, went sideways for a couple of weeks and then took off. And for those of you who are familiar with the seasonal patterns, even stuff from Jake, you know, there's a bullish period in gold that happens mid-September. It just happened to happen mid-September when it took off. So it's also a seasonal pattern. Very simple strategy, but it works extremely, extremely well. Okay, Becky typed in XLE 90%, 90% wins. Okay. That's stuff, and that's stuff that we put out on the emails. So I usually haven't been putting Ichimoku ones on the emails because that's not a trading plan. So we're going to be adding it to the trading plan because people have asked about it. So I figured let's go ahead and put it back with a trading plan. And then at least the Senku one, and then we'll probably do the Kumo in a couple of months again. So we'll be adding it. If for the people who are currently on my daily trade listing email list, if you want the full strategy and the stats, message me later and I'll send you the full trading plan and stats. Otherwise, stay tuned. Okay, so, but this is what we go back to XLE real quick. So as Becky showed there, XLE 90% wins when you see this happen and it's confirmed. So XLE was one of the first ETFs I really, really, really liked trading. I started trading XLE in 2006. It's always been one of my favorite ones to trade. So, and this strategy we use in XLE since the early days because it just sort of works. We got a bullish. So you see all down here, bearish, there's no trades valid down here for that. You all don't know it yet, but this would be like one of the Kumo trades we'd be looking at. So that's what we're going to go over in a couple of months, the Kumo trades. This would be one of the Kumo trades. This breakout here would be a Kumo trade. Some of you know it, some of you don't, but the Kumo trades are another ones that big breakouts of the cloud. Here's another Senku trade. It's just you can just look and see the crossovers. Chiku above the cloud. Bam. This is the consistency of the strategy. But it works just so incredibly well. Crossover and a continuation of the move up. It usually, when you see the crossover, it usually indicates a bigger move is coming. And you get some big moves off of this strategy. It's like this bullish crossover, but obviously the Chiku is below the cloud, or inside or below the cloud, so there's no trade. So very few fake outs with false signals. Bullish crossover, but everything's below the cloud. The Chiku is below the cloud, so we got nothing. And here we have the crossover, and but the Chiku is now above the cloud. We have the big continuation move higher. This is all XLE energy. I'll go back to the Qs, take a look at maybe SPY. What SPY is done. That's the wrong one. This one. Zoom in. All right. So here's SPY, and looks like we had our crossover right on 925. 925 crossover in SPY, and here's the move up following that. So the strategy is pretty straightforward. If you have any questions about it, just email me or ask it now if you want. Some of you have a copy of it already, some of you do not. If you want a copy, let me know. Anyone on the meetup right now, pretty much everyone in the meetup right now is either a current coaching client or I've known you for quite a while. So just let me know. Okay, Becky posted 89% wins on SPY. So this is, like I said, this is one of our base foundation strategies that we've been trading at least since 2007 or 8. And it's been very consistent for us. It's something, when I first learned Ichimoku, there is a generic Ichimoku concept. If things are above the cloud, it's bullish. If it's below the cloud, it's bearish. Well, obviously it makes sense. If it's up there, it's bullish. If it's down there, it's bearish. But how we use the tool was my approach for the confirmation. Kept it really simple. Everything is contained within the indicator of how I'm using it in a way that works for us and how we trade. So for today, this is going to be one of the shorter meetups. I really wanted to just get this strategy out there, and anyone who wants a copy of it, let me know, and I'll email you the details.
Is that just is that a toss or is that a ninja as well?
This one's on toss. The chart on NinjaTrader doesn't give you,
I don't think
at
it
least
has.
it doesn't give you the value of the Senku span A and B. You have a NinjaTrader. You just have to show the lines or go into the indicator settings and display the Chiku. So you have Ichimoku squeeze chart template on for NinjaTrader. You just have to go in and display the Chiku. Right now, it's not being displayed since we don't use it on any of those strategies. And the particular one we're using in Ninja doesn't show you these exact numerical values. So let me pull up the Ninja one a little second. Just that's the one the handout is from Ninja. Nothing wrong with it. It's just
I think it has the span, but I don't think it has the red line.
okay. You just have to display it. Here it is.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, you
Okay.
just have to go into the indicator
Trading.
settings and display the Chiku. Right now, more than likely, I set the Chiku color to transparent because it wasn't being used. So you just have to go in and change the color from transparent to some other color, and it'll be there. But what this particular version on NinjaTrader did not show you was the value of span A and span B, the actual numerical value. So I'm not sure if there's a setting to show you that or not, but that's why I'm using TOS, because it actually shows you this particular number, this value for the top of the and the bottom. Visually it's correct, but I don't have the exact number. So TOS shows you has a better representation to show you the values.
So I
I trade it
probably
NT8.
need that one
Yeah,
and for
NT8
tots.
has the actual numbers
Mhm.
values. So NT8's okay. NT7, this version doesn't show you the values.
Okay.
Alrighty. But like I said, if anyone wants the actual plan for it, just email me later and I'll send it to you. Most of you have it. I've seen it, but not everyone wanted to trade it because I left this up to you to, you have the information. If you want to trade it, go ahead. But we weren't actively um, posting it each day. And for those of you who not coaching clients yet, if you want to work with me on this stuff, this is the end of the year and I'm doing that annual discount deal. I'll go ahead and switch over to my website. On trades, share. All right. So if anyone's interested in learning all the option strategies and the future strategies, they kind of go together. Like next month, we're not trading futures in December, but it's going to be all options. Good opportunity to get discounted pricing for this coming week. Let me know by Friday. I'll take 250 off the futures program, 250 off the options program. Doing both, I'll take 750 off combined, all options. Just message me. Use the contact form. If you have my email, just email me, or you can use the contact form on the website. Just let me know before Friday, and we'll set stuff up, get everything, have you all geared up, ready to go for January. So we use December learning, getting ready, gearing up, and then go all in full in January. So December, pretty light trading in December, really light trading. And usually the markets are going to break out one way or the other early in January, and we'll get right into it right away with the option strategies. And the future strategies we'll get going right after the first week of January. Bam, go the option strategies. And this year, the option strategies were just outrageously good, especially the currency futures. They couldn't have gotten any better this year. It's probably one of the best years of trading we've had in quite a while. And you've seen we've had quite a few good years with the futures. So 1745 minus 250 for the currency futures and index futures. 750 if we do both deducted from this, options and futures, minus 750. And if you're just doing the options only, it's 1750 minus the 250, so 1500. And for the options, there's 6 or 7 strategies, plus we're adding the Ichimoku one, so at least 7 or 8 different strategies for the options. And that's all, no day trading, no day trading, and no day trading. It's all swing trading. All right, so just let me know before Friday, and I'll do everything one-on-one. I prefer to work in person if at all possible. I'd rather work in person, but if we can't work in person, then we'll do it via Zoom. So Zoom is my second choice, in person is my first choice. I guess I'm a little old school with in-person thing. But you get to ask questions. It's just different when you're learning in person. It's just a different feel, you know. And I can look people in the face and see when they're confused. Because sometimes people will be, I know they're confused about something, but don't want to ask the question. But when I can look at them in the face and say, yeah, I know you don't get this. Okay, what are you missing? So that's why I like to look people in the face and ask the question. All right. So it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a short meetup today. This is gonna be the last one for 2024. We're gonna resume probably the first weekend in January. Let's see, look at the calendar here. Let's see, for January, we might do January 5th or January 12th, Sunday. The first weekend is the 5th. That might be actually a good weekend to really get started again, that first Sunday, or maybe the 12th. So we might do options one weekend and futures the other, because that first couple of weeks of trading is really key to really get things going and kicked off, because the markets move a lot. So those first couple of weekends in January is when we'll have our next meetups. And in between then and now, ask any questions you need ask. Email me, call me. If you want to do a Zoom meeting, we'll do a Zoom meeting. Want to meet in person, we'll meet in person. Like anything that you unsure about for 2024, contact me now. I've been sending out the trade listing of all the valid trades. If your results have been significantly different, if you've gotten more losses than you think you should have gotten, message me. Let's take a look at your trades. Let's see what you've been doing. I know people who truly believe they were doing the right thing the right way, and they were taking losses and they just didn't understand it. When I finally looked at it with them, they were like, I was like, that's wrong. They're like, really? Yeah. They just missed something. And when I pointed out, they're like, oh, like that moment when you go like, oh, how could I have missed that simple little thing? But it's those simple little things. Sometimes you need a second set of eyes looking at what you do to show you what you might have missed, what you could be doing better, things to think about, that type of thing. So having a second set of eyes that's what I do. I am your second set of eyes. So that's part of the coaching thing. I'm a second set of eyes. Let me see what you're doing. Tell me your thought process, and let's fine tune this. How can we be better? Um, I know a lot of people, they have hesitations in trading. It's basically fair, right? Fair and greed is, you've heard those terms in trading. It's fair and greed, even though you know it's 90% wins, but you still have to be able to, but it's still that 10% creates a fear that, will this be the time it'll be a loss? And that is the stuff that stops you mentally. It's not mathematically, it's going to work out. The numbers are going to work out great. No matter, it's always still going to be 90%. But we stop ourselves from taking trades because we talk ourselves out of them. Or we hesitate, or we have one loss and we think it's going to never stop losing money. Yes, it will. But we convince ourselves that it's to have a fear of taking that next trade because it might be a loss. But losses happen. And as long as we keep trading and following the plan, we will make more than we lose, and that is trading. And that's why it's gone so well for us, myself and Becky. And the people I know follow the plan, the people in the Facebook groups who I know are following the plan, because they contact me once in a while and we talk, and it's working for them because they're very consistent and very unemotional when they trade. That's key, being unemotional. The more emotional you are, the more likely you will second guess yourself. And you just have to trust the plan, trust the process, trust the numbers, and stay on plan, stay on plan, and stay on plan. Speculating is good once in a while, but with just a little fraction of your profits. Don't speculate with just money you have laying around. If you make, let's say you make $10,000 and you want to speculate with 5, 6, 700 of that, great. But you don't make $10,000 then go let it ride on, let's buy some crypto. No, 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 no. You take a little bit of your winnings and you play with that. But that's how you reward yourself. You want to speculate, great, but take a little bit of your winnings and use that to speculate with. But the rest of the majority of your money, 90% of it, you keep on plan, following the plan, and because the plan is what will make you the most consistent profits. All righty. I think this is going to be the shortest meetup we've ever had. We're under an hour. This is the first time ever. So, but it's going to be the last one for 2024. If you want to work with me on a coaching, if you're not already doing it, give me a call or email me about the futures and or the options. I said futures have been the best, but let me know before Friday evening, and we'll get you all set up and going and get you ready for 2025. All right, unless there are any questions, we're going to end the meetup now, and then we'll resume in January, the first or second weekend in January. Okay, y'all have a good holidays and everything. See you all soon.